Hey everybody, how you doing? Tonight is a very special event. I'm in the middle of finishing several projects. So I'd like to think of this as kind of a living room set. And we just put out a whole bunch of pillows in a space downtown New York. And we invited you guys to come out and hear some tracks that are what we call, beta versions. So I'm going to be joined on stage tonight by Joe Davoli and Fyodor Shapirov from the Syracuse Symphony. So if you guys can give them a little love. And I'm going to be kind of playing some bits and pieces of some tracks that I've been working on that are compositions based not only on environmental issues, but on the idea of sampling and collage and some of the current batch of things that I've been working on. So this is a very small audience for me. Usually it'd be like, the club rocking, so I want to kind of keep it kind of intimate. So I'm going to walk you guys through the story of some of these tracks. All right, so what you're seeing here is a piece called Of Water and Ice. I'm going to be playing excerpts from that. It's a project I put online that was an open source album that we had over 500,000 engagements or listens and downloads and so on. It's been very popular online as an open source album I released through Creative Commons. Now Creative Commons was started by a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Lessig at Harvard University, and it's about this idea of shared and free culture. So I took a studio to Antarctica and went to several of the main ice fields a while ago. And what I wanted to do was think about DJ culture and environmental issues. So let me just show you guys a quick kind of piece of that, and then we'll get into it. So I ended up writing a book called The Book of Ice that was all about environmental issues and sampling the landscape. So what we're going to be doing tonight is playing some of the material I wrote when I was in Antarctica, and we'll be kind of going through a little bit of a hip-hop response to environmental issues. So here we are in 2013, and some of the things that really struck me when I was there, here's me hanging out with a lot of penguins. I was going through all these huge ice fields and just checking out different kinds of ice. And one of the things that struck me was that people couldn't get a sense of how big this place was until they saw other people. And so as a DJ and as a composer, this is one of the most remote parts of the world. And I wanted to take a studio from an idea of downtown New York and go to one of these remote spots and see how that would influence my creative process. So what you're going to be seeing tonight is a little bit of a dialogue between that idea of landscape and that idea of sampling. So recently I developed a software patch with Apple, and it's an iPad app that basically it's called DJ Mixer, the DJ Spooky version, and we've had over 15 million downloads of it, so it's been very popular. So I'm going to be doing the whole show tonight from my iPad, and I'll be controlling the video and sound. So what you're going to be seeing tonight is a bit of a multimedia excursion into this idea of not only multimedia, but what is the role of the composer. I've written everything you're going to be seeing and hearing based on the sound of ice. So what I ended up doing was looking at what they call ice core sampling. Now scientists, when they're in Antarctica, they'll dig down into the ice and they'll get millions of years of data. So whatever dust was in the air, whatever particles were in the air, they will dig down, and they call that ice core sampling. So there's an environmental component looking at data. So what I ended up doing for my book was working with a quantum physicist by the name of Brian Greene. He wrote this book, The Elegant Universe. It's an incredible book about particle physics. But ice and hydrogen and water are some of the core components of the universe. So one of my favorite scientists is a gentleman by the name of Johannes Kepler. Now, in 1611, he was on his way home, and a snowflake fell on his sleeve. And he was stunned by the precise geometry of the snow. So he went home and wrote this essay called 6 Sides of a Snowflake. And it's one of the first mathematical treatises looking at nature from the viewpoint of algorithms. So whenever you see a piece of ice, you're actually seeing a very specific mathematics at work in nature. So you can easily see a permutation. You can see from ice into composition. But above all, what you're seeing is about pattern recognition. So every piece of ice and snow is a unique kind of form or geometry, and you can easily see that permutation. It's based on hexagonal structures. So what I'm doing tonight, all the electronic music sounds were generated from working with this quantum physicist, and I took a whole bunch of data from my voyage of all the temperature differentials, and then put it into what you call algorithmic musical transcription, pulled that into tones and structures, so you're going to be seeing and hearing all this stuff distilled straight into a composition. And then above all, I was able to make a mathematical formula around that and then create this geometric forms. So that's what you're going to be seeing. Okay, so check this for a second. All right. If I took every record in my collection and bounced it to iTunes, what you can do is easily just pull everything onto the iPad. Let me just show you what I would do under other circumstances. Let's call up good old James Brown. And he's the most sampled drummer, if you look at Clyde Stubblefield. I'll just do a quick scratch routine. Okay, so that's going to be the show today. The whole vibe is I'm going to be sampling, looping, and layering the string ensemble while they play my compositions. But above all, we're going to be looking at this idea of a live remix. So the compositions are written in this kind of, I think, motifs and elements kind of format.